Welcome back, everybody, to the daily show. I'll be breaking down the stock market. So, before we get started, please hit that like button, and that is greatly appreciated. And if you're new here, definitely consider subscribing. Now, if you want to go above and beyond, support the channel and get all types of daily trade ideas, swing trade ideas, live trading, definitely head over to Patreon, and that link will be down below in the description for you guys. And now, let's get right into the market. All right, so welcome back once again, guys. Another Taco Tuesday. And this was coming because nobody was going in Pakistan for negotiation. They didn't want it, they didn't care for it. As a matter of fact, they don't give a damn about it, right? They do not care what Trump wants. Now, you can see this came out as Pete and everybody else was running to the White House just before this tweet came out to see what the heck they can do. Vince was there as well. Trump extends ceasefire in Iran, citing seriously fractured Iranian government, right? I mean, who's actually fractured here? Are they asking for it? Did they ask for the last ceasefire? It was a proposal made by Pakistani PM, right? And now he did it by himself, even though the parliament speaker from Iran came out and said they did not ask for it and they're in no state of any negotiation. And it's been the story. I mean, he says something. The main goal here from Trump and his kids and friends and family, trade is the main goal. Trade oil or market and make money. Long the market, short the oil. There was a massive oil trade even today that because of this tweet, that oil came down a little bit and the market went up. And it only takes about few seconds to make money, guys, when you got this kind of power. So this is exactly what's happening. Now, when you look at, especially look at oil here, you can see natural gas was up, the Brent oil was up 4%. Like, another thing I want to point out, you can see Brent oil nears 100, right? But look at the crude oil here, 90, right? Usually they move close to each other, right? Maybe $1 or $2 here and there. But physical oil, like if you go and try to buy a barrel of oil right now, it's actually over 100. So by shorting the oil in the short term, making money, and keeping things looking like it's okay, that is what these people are doing right now in the market, just manipulating the market. And that's why market seems like it doesn't care. Market thinks that everything is fine, but we all know the oil shock is really serious. Now, despite all that, market came down a little bit today. Nothing crazy. It's not like we were down, 2-3%. I mean, we're still sitting at all-time highs. So I would not even call this a pullback. Now, if you look at it here, what happened to the market? Stock market Dow was down 0.59%. And this is a play I took on DIA puts early on. And this was fantastic. Made about 80% on that play. Advancing 27.9, so most of it was declining today. Nasdaq down 0.59%, S&P down 0.63%, but now it's up a little bit. Russell down 1% after quite some time. 11 sectors that makes up S&P 500. Again, energy led the way, but look at technology not coming down. And everything else got smashed today, even though the market barely came down a little bit. Stock market map, you can see right here what's happening. Apple down after Tim Cook actually left as a CEO of the company. Nvidia went down. A lot of financial names they went down. Even healthcare names went down. Microsoft was up again. Oracle, PNW software names are going up, right? And then look at this mess right here. Computer hardware chips, you know, Dell, STX, WDC, and then this main charge was led by pretty much AMD. Broadcom was down, but then came back up. But look at industrials here. Everything was down because these things run on oil. And especially when it comes to like jet fuel and all that. I mean, these airlines, I think one of the biggest airline just canceling a lot of summer flights and all that because of what's going to happen to oil. Now, we do have Tesla tomorrow after closing. Then we have IBM. We have Service now. Then we got what do you call it? Intel, PG. All that is also coming up on Thursday. So let's see what's going on with S&P 500. If we can figure out if there is some opportunities that are coming our way in near short term. All right, so SPY is down 0.65%, but well, I mean, you would think this is actually a bearish looking candle. We wiped out 2 days worth of gains from Friday and yesterday, or at least the flat day yesterday, which was down 1 day. We closed below these two candles. Technically, that's bearish, but Mr. Taco was out just after closing, tweeting that we're going to extend the ceasefire, even though nobody was asking for it. And guess what? It's not about ceasefire. It's not about Iran. It's not about you and me. It's all about trade, 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 oil or the stock market itself. And that's what they're doing. Oil had a massive short last week before that news, Friday gap up and go, even before that. And now just have a look at the stock car, AB's budget. What's happening? There was massive short on car, and now everybody is getting punished. So I hope this is going to come into play at some point. Kids or the family members, party members, Congress, senators shorting oil. And if the oil goes up, it's going to rip everyone apart. Now, when you look at crude oil, you would be like, oh, it's coming down, it's bullish, right? But when you actually go and try to buy physical oil in the market, like with your own money, there's a huge spread in between crude oil and physical oil. It's like 30 some dollar difference. Usually they move hand in hand, like maybe two, three, I guess maybe $5 difference. But we have a big, huge spread in between those right now. And why is that? Because they're shorting oil. They're trying to show that everything is fine. But this oil shock is definitely something a lot of people are already feeling, and they're going to feel even more. Lufthansa, one of the biggest, airline, just announcing that, they're going to do less flights because of higher prices on the jet fuel and not even available, right? And after that ceasefire extension, which nobody was asking for, there is not timeline anymore. So this one is without a time. And then nobody was asking for it, right? He called in JD Vance, Pete, some other folks within the government, and just came up with this idea that I'm just gonna go and say we're gonna extend ceasefire. Iran, they don't want ceasefire. They don't care about it. They do not care about anything that Trump wants. And this is actually a really big loss for Trump because they didn't want it, they didn't ask for it, and now you're the one who's saying that ceasefire. If they were saying going, on X or on TV or somewhere and saying, Mr. Trump, please accept 15-day ceasefire. We are asking you, begging you, we'll sort this out. That would be something that, yes, these people are scared and they're asking for it. You know, just give them a chance, right? No, it's the other way around. He's going around doing ceasefire now and then, kids going out, shorting oil. Then he's coming out with a tweet saying, well, we got the ceasefire. But Strait of Hormuz, that's the main thing. Flow of oil is completely stopped for 2 months now, guys. 2 months. And go and ask people in South Asia, uh, Africa, go and ask people in Australia, Europe, everybody is suffering. And at some point, we're going to be in some sort of a lockdown if this thing does not get resolved. So the market, why market is up? Well, because of Mr. Taco tweet. Keeping things up, showing market that everything is fine. We're just gonna be fine. We'll short the oil, we'll bring it down. Market sees oil coming down, crude oil, market goes up. Everything is fine. Market at all-time high. Everything seems fine. Now, yes, typically in a healthy way, market goes up. But does this look like healthy to you? Nobody have seen. I was a kid back then, 30 years ago. Nobody have seen this in 30 years. From the lows straight up, from oversold to extremely overbought, from extremely, especially extreme fear into almost extreme greed in just a matter of 2 weeks. You think this is a normal stock market and stock market is actually doing this? No. Manipulation in the stock market, guys. Now, what SPY will do next? Well, we gave back $4.50. We took back two and a half almost, right? It was, I think, almost 408 after that tweet came out. Far as technicals, yes, they work, but against the tweet, they don't. So if there is no tweet, they will work, but it just coming out all day, every day, over the weekend. So market goes up. So whenever they want to short the market, that's when you're going to see a significant, meaningful drop in this market. And the market will fill some of these gaps. We did fill this one from Friday. You can see last 2 days of trading, we closed below that, which was that 706 zone, right? But right now it's at 706. So going into tomorrow, if we open over 706, we could be going into 709. That breaks, going back up to 711 and possibly even all-time highs again. If things come down below 704, where we closed, then watch out for 702, 700, and then previous all-time highs right around that 697, 696. I would get more bearish if we close under, I would say, 697, 696, which I don't think that's the case right now. We'll see with the flows tomorrow how that goes. And we talked about it before in my video. This is the weekly time frame, and you can see weekly 5 SMA right here. Right here, we went higher, we came back in. We went lower, we came back in. Higher, came back in. Lower, came back in. And usually this thing moves hand in hand. The price of a SPY and this moving average, they always move together. I mean, you can go back anywhere. You'll see this blue line and the price is trading around that blue line. But what you're seeing right now on my screen, you'd be like, whoa, what's going on here? Look at this blue line. It's at, what is it, 676, 77. Maybe next 2, 3 days, we might go to like 680, 82. Where's SPY trading? 706. That is insane. So at some point, these things will reconnect, and that's why you cannot be, going along here unless you see a meaningful, decent pullback. And FIB 38% retracement, it's down here as well, around that 680, maybe around the gap if we can come down. But so far, there is no signal that we're going to come down here anytime soon. Upside, we're still trading at all-time highs. I mean, I would not even call this a pullback. This is just a small, tiny, uh, you know, mini pullback, just a normal, day. It's not like where SPY came down like 2.5, 3%, where I can say this is a meaningful pullback. So yesterday it was flat, and today 0.65%. If you want to see more downside, and there is a lot of money sitting on the sideline, only if there is more down days, I think that money will come into the market. As of right now, I don't think anybody is interested buying this dip at 700. Well, not even 700. We got 702.64 today, not even 700. So I don't think this is going to do for the money that is sitting on the sideline. And despite all that, Triple Q did not even fill the gap at 642. We came close to it yesterday. We came really close to it today, but again, the gap is still open. And you can see, I mean, back to back two red candles and not much happening. We gave back 0.38% and took back 0.35%. So if you call this pullback, well, that's pullback for you, but I don't think I can call this a pullback. And we're still holding above the 643 zone, 5-day moving average. We fill the gap. If it does not hold, I think a meaningful pullback for an intraday pullback would be at 635 right here, 636. If that does not hold, then watch out for 629. To the upside, well, we're basically sitting at all-time highs, so 650 breaks, we could be going even higher. On IWM, it was down finally 1%, but even though SPY did fill that gap from last Friday, we have a gap at 270, and as a matter of fact, we went up to 280 almost, hitting another brand new all-time high. So technically, this is not looking bullish. We started near high of the day at a brand new all-time high and closing near low of the day. So tomorrow we'll see if there is continuation or if we get more tweets come out. If so, that's not gonna work. 272, that's going to be your key line in the sand here. Underneath that, we might be filling this gap at 270. Then we'll talk about maybe 268 to 266 into the gap 265. To the upside, we're still sitting at all-time highs, just a few dollars off. If we can, remain somewhere above the 5-day moving average, 273.4, we could be going right back up to all-time highs once again. On DI, it's down 0.60%. Despite that big rally on UNH, this thing was down. Now, we did play this today. We got in around 497 and some change, almost near the top with 495 puts. And this was fantastic. You can see it came down to 490, so gave back $8 and we took profit on this play. And plays like this always come out, but this week is possibly the worst week of trading because there is no moves. When market moves, I can make money. If there is no move, where the heck are you gonna make money from? If you just force yourself in a trade and you don't see good setups, you're just gonna lose money. And that's why, I'm not really doing much in the market. But today there was an opportunity. I took it and it paid off. So that you can see 489 to 490 is support. If we get under, maybe we fill the gap at 486. If we go back up, to the upside, 496 breaks, we could be going into that 498 to 500, and you can see the 498 rejection came in today. So only over that we could possibly go and retest previous all-time highs. And this is another example of how this was Dow hitting all-time highs, where SPY and Qs, they were not even IWM, and everybody thought, oh, this is a breakout, previous all-time high breakout. It held for a few days, and then what happened? 505.3 all the way down to 450. So you need more confirmation for something like this. And yeah, if the times are good and everything is good, I mean, look at consumer sentiment now. I mean, at the lowest reading right now, and the market's sitting at all-time highs. Usually they move hand in hand. If the sentiment goes up, the market goes up. But the sentiment is really low, really poor, and the market is sitting at all-time highs. So with all that and oil crisis, guys, I'm not buying this big rally to the upside, even though I was participating in this rally, but mostly sold out of everything on this big pump to the upside. All right, so we're going to talk about VIX a little bit here. We had this falling wedge pattern. We broke out, and today it was up meaningful, but then gave away a lot of the gains. So if this thing gets over, I would say 21 here, that would get really, messy for the stock market and especially for S&P. We still have a big gap right here around 25. So if this thing goes up, it can definitely move up another $5. And I think in that case, the S&P can come down and fill some of those gaps to the downside. Now, I think dollar was on the way up today as well. You can see the dollar was also making a move back up to the upside. Look at these wicks on these candles, bottom wick. I mean, a lot of buying happening here on dollar. So if this thing catches another breather and goes up, that's going to put a stop to S&P 500. And that's all I have for you guys in this video. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. What do you guys think? Where is market heading? Are you bullish at the top, or you're actually just waiting for a nice dip?